diplomacy, it sets off a chain reaction that spreads like wildfire. And England is never quite the same again.
Were you able to find out anything about Mr. Hardwick?
Yes, sir, they're separated. In my opinion, a divorce is imminent.
Gridley. Mrs. Hardwick murdered her husband.
Oh, that's certainly grounds for... She what?
The question is, did she or did she?
Well, I mean, you know, there are ways of getting women to reveal their innermost secrets. I mean, the more familiar you are with her, the better the chances are of getting her to the moment of truth.
What are you getting at?
Well, what's coming through?
You want me to be a male Mata Hari? I'm a member of the State Department, not the Vice Squad. You seem too eager, but... Are you by any chance a widow? I really couldn't say.
What happens when a fast-talking young diplomat, against the express orders of his suspicious superior, rents a room from a luscious, lovely, notorious landlady?
It's best to just do it and get it over with. The problem is getting it out of the house.
What are you doing?
Hello everybody, I'm Skip Elsheimer. Welcome to the AV Geeks Lunchtime streaming show. Started off with, I wanted to see what was on this reel, because the box said, Notorious Landlady Trailer. And I was like, what is that? So I threaded it up and I was like, well, I might as well just show it. Yeah, so this came from the collection of films that I just recently got from somebody in Raleigh who's moving out of town. And was like, I don't want to schlep these anymore. Hey, there's this guy in Raleigh who also collects films. So, he gave me a call. So we're, did I say I'm Skip Elsheimer? Did I say that this is the AV Geeks Lunchtime streaming show where we watch old 16mm films? I can't remember. I should write these things down. This next film is a wonderful coronet film called Courtesy for Beginners. Enjoy.
It doesn't make anyone feel good to be left out of things.
Hi.
What a difference when somebody wants us, when someone makes us feel welcome. It isn't hard to see then that if it makes us feel good to be wanted, it would probably make someone else feel good too.
Come on.
See? You might say that's what courtesy is all about. Trying to make the other person feel good as we feel.
There are all sorts of ways to make others feel good. All sorts of ways of being courteous. For instance, just knowing the courteous way to say hello to another person can make someone feel good. Here, let me show you. Hello, Jimmy. It's very nice that you've moved to our school. Good morning, Mary. I'm glad you're a student here now, too. Mary, why don't you try greeting someone now? Just try making the other person think you care about him. Try smiling. Try saying hello.
Is that all I have to do?
Mm-hmm, that's all.
Hello.
Well, that's better. But can you say it a little bit louder?
Hello, how are you?
That's a good beginning.
Hello, how are you? Good morning, I'm glad to see you. Good morning, I'm glad to see you. Good afternoon, it's sure a nice day. Good afternoon, it's sure a nice day.
Judy, let's practice answering these questions.
Hello, how are you? Hello, I'm fine, thank you. Good morning, I'm glad to see you. Good morning, I'm glad to see you, too. Good afternoon, it's sure a nice day. I'll say, Tom, Mom let me come to school without a coat.
It's easy to greet people in a way that makes them feel good. Even people we don't know.
Hi, may I help you?
Hi, I'm Miss Hughes. May I see your teacher, please?
Yes. Mrs. Foley, this is Miss Hughes.
Oh, Miss Hughes, I'm so glad to meet you.
Well, I'm happy to meet you, Mrs. Foley.
Boys and girls, I'd like to have you meet Miss Hughes. She's studying at the university to be a teacher, and she's going to be visiting with us for a while.
May I take your coat, please?
Why, thank you.
There's a chair back here, Mrs. Foley. Should I bring it up?
Well, fine, Michael. We were just talking about courtesy before you came, Miss Hughes. Would you care to listen?
Oh, why, yes, very much.
We make someone feel welcome by the things we do and the things we say.
Now let's show Miss Hughes courtesy in another situation. This is Jimmy's first day with us. Tom, let's suppose that Jimmy moved down the street from you. Now, how would you introduce yourself to him?
Hi, I'm Tom McConnell.
It's easy to begin, isn't it? Now what do you do, Tom?
After I knew his name, I guess I'd want to find out something about him. Hi, I'm Tom McConnell. I live in that white house over there. Where are you from? Nebraska. We just moved here yesterday. Yeah, I saw the truck.
Now that Tom and Jimmy are introduced, what happens if a new girl enters the picture? Mary, come here and help us.
Jim, I'd like you to meet another new neighbor. This is Mary. Jimmy, I'd like you to meet another new neighbor. This is Mary. Hi, Mary. She just moved into the house next to Lindsay's.
Thank you, Mary and Tom. Now let's suppose one of you wants to introduce Jimmy to your mother. Michael, why don't you imagine that?
Mom, this is Jimmy. He just started our school. Mom, this is Jimmy. He just started our school.
Nice to meet you, Jimmy. Are you getting used to the new school? I hear you're from Nebraska.
Yeah.
I remember when we first moved.
We make others feel good by the things we do and the things we say, and sometimes just by the way we say things.
Give me the paste. May I please have the paste?
Let's experiment some more. Now, Jimmy, let's see if you can imagine what Judy looks like just from the sound of her voice and by what she says.
Come over here. Jimmy, would you please come over here?
See how different the same words can sound, depending upon how they're said.
Jimmy, would you please come over here?
Letting other people wait for an answer doesn't make them feel good.
Jimmy, would you please come over here?
Answer her, Jimmy.
Yeah, I hear ya.
That's not a courteous answer.
I'll be there in a second, Judy.
That's better. You see, what we say and how we say it can make a big difference in how other people feel. For example, suppose you hear this.
Watch it. Here's the scissors you wanted. Well, it's about time.
What would you think if you heard that? Now, here's another way to say almost the same words.
Oh, excuse me, Jimmy. Here are the scissors you wanted. Thank you very much.
It's a lot different when you use those extra words.
Please. Thank you. Excuse me.
Those are the extra words of courtesy that can make someone else feel good, if they're said in the right way.
This is wheat from my uncle's farm back in Nebraska. The thing that's so unusual about this wheat is that it's grown in the winter. How big a farm was it? Pretty big, I guess. Did you have a horse there? Oh, sure. But
No one likes being constantly interrupted.
what's so unusual about this wheat is that it grows in the winter. A big horse? Yeah.
So most interruptions are not courteous. Is there any kind of interruption that is courteous?
Excuse me, does it really grow in the winter? Well, not really. You see, they plant the wheat in the fall, and then when the snow comes and covers it, it keeps it warm.
Michael's interruption, at least, had something to do with Jimmy's talk. And it does tell Jimmy his audience is listening to him. But in general, interruptions confuse everyone. Just imagine what the world would be like if no one took turns. Imagine what it would be like if everyone constantly interrupted everyone else.
I've had a horse once. I'm afraid of horses. What's there to be afraid of? I never been on a farm before. They're so pretty. But they're so big, too.
When everyone talks at once, no one can hear what anyone else is saying. That's why we take turns. So we can be courteous by the things we say, and the way we say them, and by the things we do. These ways of being courteous aren't only for people we've just met, like Jimmy and Mary. They're for everyone. But how can we be sure we're always doing the courteous thing? Well, we can ask ourselves if we're doing the thing that makes the other person feel good. It's not hard to tell. And that's all courtesy is. Ways of doing things that make all of us feel good.
So I apologize because I was rewinding and the audio on the 16 telecine was still live. So, yeah, I thought you heard it going, but maybe you didn't. I'm not quite sure how it's funneling through an OBS. But, man, I love courtesy films. They're so great. They, the practicing, the social interactions, all that stuff is really, really awesome. Big fan. So I just set up another film and I have it on the telecine right here. I'm gonna try to do more alternating between 16 and stuff I've already digitized so that we can kind of add more new stuff to the collection. What do you think? We'll give it a shot, see what happens. This is Safety at Home, and this looks like this has the craziest kind of leader beginning. Maybe it's a focus leader, I'm not sure, I haven't heard it. So Here we go. Let's watch this together and see what this beginning leader is.
We laugh at accidents in a comedy because we know they are not real. In real life, things are very different. These patients are the lucky ones. They survived the accidents in which they were involved. How can we prevent accidents? Where do most of them occur? Do most accidents occur where people know they are doing dangerous work, or where people feel safe? Here or here? Here or here? The answer is that more accidents occur at home where people feel safe than anywhere else. But why? Men and women who work at dangerous jobs take precautions to avoid accidents. Signs, special clothing, guardrails, and a habit of thinking ahead all are designed to prevent accidents. What can we do about accidents at home? Let's start with a very simple thing, like walking into your own home. How could that be dangerous? What was the danger here? Was it the little brother or the toy? It was really neither. The danger was that Bill didn't look ahead or think ahead. Here's a nice clean floor. Nothing on it looks dangerous unless someone runs and slips. There was a choice to be made here, to walk or run in the house. The answer? There's more room for running outside, and it's usually less slippery out there. Joe is usually hungry when he gets home from school, so he prepares himself a snack. When he's finished, he finds himself with a choice to make. Should he leave the knife where it is, or put it away? When a knife is left lying around, all sorts of unpleasant things can happen. Would it have been safer if Joe had tossed the knife into the sink? A serious cut can easily be the result. That's why, when faced with this choice, Joe makes a series of common sense decisions. He picks up the knife by the handle, carries it with the tip of the blade away from him, washes the knife with a cloth while holding the sharp edge away from him, and dries it the same way, with a thick cloth and the cutting edge away. Finally, Joe puts the knife away in a safe place. Helping in the kitchen is one of Susan's household chores. Because there's a baby gate between the kitchen and the rest of the house, she has a choice to make whenever she goes in or out, to close and lock the gate behind her, or leave it open. Which do you think she'll do? If the gate is left open, a few seconds is all her little brother needs to get into the kitchen and very likely into trouble. you know what Susan will decide to do. Bill has a problem. He wants his fishing rod, but he can't reach it. It would be much easier and safer to get a ladder. Looks like the ladder's too short. Better get another ladder. Thinking ahead in this case means choosing the right ladder for the job and getting the fishing rod with ease. It seems clear now that safety in the home is largely a matter of choice. It's a little like a game of checkers. Each player thinks ahead and tries his best to make decisions that will help him win the game. Sometimes mistakes are made. But a wise player learns from his mistakes. In the matter of safety, we are faced with choices, decisions to be made. Let's look at a few such choices and let you make the decisions. There are at least two ways of sitting in a chair. One is like this. The other is like this. Which way is safer? The chair up or the chair down? What do you say? To avoid this, the correct answer is chair down. Bill has finished taking a bath. The choice? Empty the tub now or later. You were right if you said empty the tub now. It could be dangerous. Susan is taking her winter clothes out of storage. She has a choice to make. Leave the mothballs out or put them away. You are right. She should put them away in a high, safe place, especially set aside for all household items that are poisonous. Joe has a bothersome cold. His mother is out shopping. His father is at work. The medicine cabinet is filled with bottles. What should he do? Wait for his mother to return, or pick out the most likely-looking bottle and take the medicine? Taking medicine without being absolutely sure of what you are taking can be very dangerous. Joe decides to wait until his mother returns. But did you notice something else? The medicines were on the first shelf of the cabinet. Remember, Joe has a little brother. Where should the medicines be kept?
Bill, dinner.
Before going to dinner, Bill has some choices to make. Should he turn off the transformer power switch, or pull the plug from the wall, or both? You probably made the same wise decision that Bill does. First, he turns off the transformer power switch. Then he pulls the plug. And did you notice how he pulled it? He took hold of the plug itself, not the cord. An electric cord that's constantly being tugged becomes cracked and worn. Sooner or later, the wires become exposed, and two things can happen. This, or this. A cord that is properly handled will remain safe for a long time. Bill's father has a new drill press in his workshop. It looks fascinating. Should Bill try it out, or wait for his father to show him how to operate it? It's much safer and easier to receive instructions before using the new tool. After seeing only some of the things that can happen in your own home, you may feel that the only safe way to live is like this, in straitjackets. But you know that's not true. You have another choice. You can do all the things you want to do and have the fun of doing them, as long as you think ahead and, when faced with a choice, make a decision for safety.
Wow, so that was the third edition of that film, which is when you have an educational film company that's been around as long as Encyclopedia Britannica, and they also, before they started, they bought things from Irby and from Emerson, and I think from Eastman Teaching too. So they basically, when they came out with their own versions, and they came out with the second edition probably in the 40s, and then the third edition, this one was like in the 60s, it looked like, late 60s. My sister had a copy of this book, and I used to read it because the illustrations were really beautiful, and when I saw that I had the actual film for it, I got excited. The book, I think, is better, but here we go. Something Queer at the Library.
Hi, Mr.
No? What you got there?
I almost found out.
Oh.
The dog show is next Saturday, a week from today. And we're going to show her. You know he's Basset Hound? Yeah, purebred.
No, you have several books here that are oversized and not supposed to go out of the library. But, I'll let you take them out for 1 week, okay?
We'll be careful. That's Fletcher.
Oh, Fletcher, yeah. Right.
She's never been in a dog show before. We need these books to learn how to train her.
Train her?
Of course, why not? Come on, Fletcher, we're going to make you the grand prize winner.
Good luck.
Thanks. Now, Fletcher, you'll get the yogurt and strawberries when you go fetch. This stick, the yogurt and strawberries, for this stick. Not yet, not yet, not yet, not yet, not yet, not yet. Okay, on your mark. Get set. Go fetch. How do you think you're going to win the $50 money like this? Fletcher, look. Look, there's the stick. Go get, come on, Fletcher. Forget it, it's no use. If that Bratty Jane Wonder could teach her dog to stand on its hind legs, we can certainly teach Fletcher a few tricks. How do you know? What do you mean, how do I know? You've been around this dog. That's what I mean. You're not getting discouraged, are you? Maybe we should try to teach her something else first. Yeah, let's look something up in the books. We probably should have started to train Fletcher sooner. Yeah, like in 1948. Oh my goodness, look! Somebody's cut out a picture. Some pictures are missing in this one, too. I just had a terrible thought. Mr. Hobart might think we did it. Oh, yeah. It's a terrible thought. The only way we're ever going to keep him from suspecting us is... Yes? We're going to have to catch the creep who did this ourselves. You're right. I bet there's some more clues in the books. Let's keep looking. Okay. You get this one. I'll look in this one. Hey, I found something. Let's see. It's a fingerprint. The creep was eating chocolate and left a fingerprint. We got him! Or her. Jill, a fingerprint doesn't do us any good. It could have been left by any reader. Yeah. Let's keep looking. Hey, look at this. It's silly looking. That may be. But it's a better clue than the fingerprint, because it's on the same page as the cutout. I bet whoever drew this draws dogs like this all the time. We'll trace it onto another piece of paper and show it around and see if anybody's seen a drawing like it before. That's a great idea. You know, if we don't find the culprit ourselves, we'll probably have to pay for the books. She got it! Sure. Good girl. She is going to win the money for us so we can pay for the books. I think we shouldn't count on it. We better train Fletcher and look for the culprit at the same time. Says the first thing you have to do is teach your dog how to stand properly to show off its form. I don't know about her figure. Who knows? Maybe the sag won't matter. She has a beautifully shaped head. It says here, the judge will probably ask you to ask your dog to run to you. Come on, Fletcher! Come on, Fletcher! Come on, pick up some speed, Fletcher! Say, Jane. Yes? When you trained your dog to do tricks, did you get any books out of the library? Yes. Out of the public library? No, the school library. Will that be all? Yes, that'll be all. Come on, Fletcher. Fletcher, fetch the stick. Fletcher's a patient dog. I'll sure say that for her. But she's not going to win. I don't want you to get your hopes up. And we still haven't found the creep who cut up the picture. This has been one of the worst weeks of my life. Maybe we missed something in the books. Maybe we should look again. Yeah. Look at the captions on each missing picture. They all say Lhasa Apso. Sounds like some weird dog food. I never heard of it. We've got to find out what it is. Let's go to the library. No, but then Mr. Hobart will ask us about the book. It's the only way. Come on.
Hi, Gwen. Jill, bring your books back?
No, they're not due till tomorrow.
Something wrong?
No, we have to look up something in the encyclopedia. Yeah. Now he's really going to suspect us. Lenin, Leonardo, Lhasa Apso. It's really funny looking. A dog that originally came from Tibet. I can read. So the dog show. Shh. Those lopsided whatchamacalls will be at the dog show for sure. I bet the creep will be there too.
Please register your dog at the registration table. You cannot be in the dog show.
25 cents? Do you have the yogurt and strawberries? Here, you keep it a minute with Fletcher. I'm going to see if I can find any Lhasa Apsos. And keep your eye open for anybody eating chocolate. Okay, bye. Good luck. Come on, let's go get your tag. Come on, Fletch. Popcorn? Want some popcorn? No thanks.
Hey, Fred.
Is that Lhasa Apso?
Yes, it is.
Fletcher. And he's a basset hound. Hi. Nice drawing. Thanks. What's your name? Pam. I love Lhasa Apsos. My aunt has one, but my parents won't let me have a dog. Gee, Pam, that's too bad. Is that why you cut those pictures out of the library books? I don't know what you're talking about. Hey, come back! Jill, I found her! Gwen! Jill, come quick! Run, bitch! Run, bitch! Run, bitch! Jill, come quick! Okay! That's my turn! Sorry! Come on! Go on the other side! Where'd she go? I don't know. That's down there. Yeah. Fletcher. Aha! Oh, no. Now you're really gonna get it. You cut those pictures out of the library books. That's against the law. And a creepy, selfish thing to do. I couldn't help myself. My parents got so sick of hearing me ask for a dog that they wouldn't even buy me a book with pictures of dogs. I started to cut out just one little picture from my wall, and then... Well, we took those books out of the library, and now we're afraid we're going to get blamed for cutting them up. We want you to confess. Do I really have to? Yes. All right.
Crawl, stay, sit, up. Stay.
I lost the yogurt and strawberry.
Very good.
Oh, no.
All right, girls, let's see you. Let's see your dog stand at attention.
Yes, sir. Like your head up, head up, tail up. Stay.
That's fine. We'll be
Okay.
fine. Now, I want you to walk your dog to the end of the ring and then run back, right?
Yes, sir. Come on, Fletcher. Come on, Fletcher. Come on, Fletcher. Fletcher, come on.
Did you understand that I said run back?
Oh, yes, sir. But I don't think Fletcher did.
Oh, fine. Fine. Thank you, girls. And now, last but not least, the dog with the most unusual markings, the map of the United States of America, Fletcher.
Congratulations, Fletcher. Congratulations.
You're gonna have to pay for the books that you cut pictures out of.
Yes, sir.
I'll tell you what. I've been needing some help here in the library putting books away. If you'll help me 4 Saturdays, we'll call it even.
That'd be great, Mr. Hobart. I love the library.
But you must promise never to cut anything out of a book again.
I promise. Look, there's Florida.
Oh, and there's my house and the library and...
Oh, Mr. Hobart.
What, may I ask, is a dear little cupcake like you doing with nasty old school books? My dear child, we haven't had school or books in ages.
No school? Really?
Why don't you get rid of that school book? You can drop them in here.
It'll get all bound up in there.
Well, of course it will, dear child. And so it should. Books tamper with man's basic, natural ignorance. Now, what could be worse than that?
But I can't burn this book. It's school property.
Nonsense! Apple sugar. You just need to get into the mood.
Books are not where it's at, teaching you how to spell cat. I know you'd rather play, so why don't you throw all your books away? Books are made for burning, the fire is already yearning to put an end to any learning.
1, 3, 5, 9, throw them in the fire dry.
Put the books in the fire, see the flames growing higher. Burning books is our heart's desire.
2, 4, 6, 8, time to incinerate.
Books will not make you wise, and reading's bad for your eyes. I am sure you agree, so why don't you give all your books to me? Books are made for burning, fire is already yearning to put an end to any learning.
This one here is very good about a man named
only confuse, teaching you things you can't use. You should listen to me. Burning your books will set your mind free.
That was Books for Burning, which is a great kind of follow-up to Something Queer at the Library, which was about don't defacing books. So that was from a film, Magnificent Major, and I believe Havaham in the comments mentioned it, and I was like, oh yeah, that'd be a great way to kind of segue. So thanks for that. And that was a film that competed in our toe tapping tournament. It got beat by Shake Hands with Danger, which we kind of all knew it would, but that's okay. That song is so good, by the way. Books Are for Burning. Every time I hear it, it gets better and better. So let's watch another film we got on the telecine. I'm going to try to be better about that, like alternating and bringing you more stuff. You can help us by hitting like, subscribe, ringing the notification bell so you can find out about future shows, by commenting, sharing, buying us coffee at buymeacoffee.com/avgeeks, or go to avgeeks.com and see previous shows that we've done, and you can also buy DVDs there. So this next film it's more safety stuff. I was in the S's and I was like, oh, I haven't seen this one. This one looks crazy. All right, so here it is. Safe in Nature.
For most of us, a trip into nature is a pleasant experience. But for some, accidents can put a disastrous end to their enjoying the outdoors. Accidents that could have been prevented. Victims of their own carelessness. Victims who never bothered to learn how to be safe in nature. Todd and Linda were having a good time on their weekend outing. But wouldn't it be even more fun to explore the forest around them? Well, why not? Dad was fishing downstream. Mom was napping in the camper. So Todd and Linda thought it was all right if they took a short walk in the forest. The forest was great fun indeed, and time flew fast. They better start back to the campsite. But which way was camp? If only they could remember which direction they'd come from. If they could find that tree trunk they'd walked on earlier, then they could find their way back to camp. Maybe that was it. Or was it this one? Or another? Hey, that must be the same anthill. But after an hour of walking, they were still in the thick of the woods. It must not have been the same anthill after all. By now, they were sure of only one thing. They were lost.
Help! 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 Help!
Todd and Linda wandered on, hoping somehow to find a way out of the forest. The woods at nightfall scared them. They didn't dare stop until they nearly collapsed from exhaustion. Todd and Linda wished they had a fire to keep them warm, even in summer, especially at higher altitudes. The forest at night can be cold. Its darkness ghostly. In the morning, hungry, thirsty, sleepless, and tired, Todd and Linda once more set out to make their way back to camp and to find something to eat. In the afternoon, they heard a welcome sound. Todd suddenly remembered that they had left camp in an upstream direction. If they just walked downstream, that would take them back to the campsite. But a stream may have several forks, and you may follow the wrong one, as Todd and Linda did. Making your way along a stream can be tiring and dangerous. Those boulders can be slippery.
Coming!
A lucky break in an unlucky adventure. What would have been the right thing for Todd and Linda to do? First of all, not to stray away from camp at all. If you do, leave a note. It expedites the search for you in case you get lost. The note you leave should state who is with you, when you plan to return, and in which direction you've gone. This way, searchers will know at once where to start looking for you. When going into the wilderness, always take a whistle along. Once you realize you're lost, blow the whistle 3 times, repeatedly. The sound of a whistle can be heard much farther than your voice. Don't wander around aimlessly. Make camp while it's still daylight. Try to find some nature-created frame or foundation that makes building your shelter easier. Once your shelter is done, you can prepare a fire site. Clean the ground down to the bare soil in a circle at least 10 feet wide. The dry leaves and pine needles make a soft bed and insulate you against ground chill. Gather enough firewood to last through the night. If you're cold, you can't relax. Matches, another thing you should always carry with you when going into the wilderness. The high backside of this fireplace reflects the warmth into the shelter. Even though you may feel rested in the morning, wait till rescuers reach you. If you're hungry, you can explore the area around your shelter for edible plants. But look out for poisonous plants, poison oak, for instance. Every so often, send out distress calls. Don't eat mushrooms, not even roasted. How about berries like this? As a rule, berries red, go ahead. Berries white, poisonous sight. Don't move around needlessly. Conserve your energy. You can be sure that people are searching for you. A person hearing a distress signal will answer by 2 signals. When you're found in good shape, that's good news. It's worth learning about survival in the woods. It may save your life one day. Some of you may like to go out to the desert, especially if you're a rock hound, as Tim was. He was spending some of his vacation with his aunt and uncle, who lived in a desert community. Today, Tim decided to do a little prospecting. That area looks promising. Tim took a break, and an unexpected visitor showed up, a curious desert tortoise. Want a bite? We both like apple, don't we? Tim's guest departed to continue prospecting, and so did he. The desert was heating up. It was time to head back home. Now, where did he leave his bike? Strange how everything looks different, as if he had never been here before. Maybe he never was. Perhaps from the top of that hill he could recognize the rock where he had parked his bike. The landscape seemed unfamiliar. The heat and overexertion began to numb Tim's senses, dulling his memory. He must find his way back to the bike. He must get out of this blazing desert. He's got to find his bike. Where did he park it? The more rocks Tim saw, the more confused he became. He was completely lost. Exhausted, Tim didn't have the strength to go on. He had no other choice but to spend the night in the desert. At least the night will be cool, Tim thought. Night in the desert can be far too cool. If only he could make a fire. But he had no matches. Tim could hardly sleep at all. And as soon as it was daylight, he decided to go out and find some water. Somewhere. Somehow. The desert was hot like a furnace. But Tim kept on. He must find water. His mouth was dry, his head reeling. The body needs about 3 times as much water in the desert as it does in the woods. Tim thought if he took his shirt off, he'd be cooler. Intense perspiring had made his body lose water, dehydrate. Taking off his shirt only speeded up the evaporation. Dehydration can cause panic and a loss of judgment. Driven by a tormenting thirst, Tim blindly searched for water in the blistering desert till he utterly wore himself out. His head ached. He felt nauseated and dizzy. His vision blurred. Tim was seized by a terrible fear. What would happen to him? Was anyone looking for him? Yes, there was. But since the rescuers didn't know in what part of the desert Tim might be, they had to search a large area. No matter what kind of terrain you're lost in, rescuers can usually reach you within 2 days, if they have any indication of where you are. But even aerial search failed to show any sign of Tim's whereabouts. Weak and drowsy from dehydration, Tim had fallen asleep in the cave and didn't hear the aircraft searching for him. Then a rescue team made a fortunate discovery. Not far from the parked bike, other searchers found fresh tracks in a dry wash. They decided to follow them. Tim has been found, just in time. One more day and he would have been fatally dehydrated. What could Tim have done to prevent this calamity? Once you discover you're lost, get into the shade. This helps keep your body temperature down. Sit, don't lie down. Just a couple of feet above ground, temperature might be 30 degrees cooler. Even if you feel hot, keep your clothing on. It slows the evaporation of your sweat and protects you from the sun. If you have a good chance of finding water close by, you may give it a try. Certain plants only grow where there's water in the ground. The tamarisk, for instance. Wet sand, a promising sign. You can purify water by boiling it for 5 minutes. To do this and to stay warm at night, you need fire. Select your shelter where there's firewood nearby and plants for making a bed. Tim could have used his magnifying glass to start a fire. You might be hungry, but if you have water, You can live without food for about 2 weeks. In the cool hours of the morning, try to make distress signals that can be seen from a distance. They aid rescuers in finding you. Being lost in the desert can be a trying experience, but you'll make it through if you know what to do. The most important thing to remember, if you're lost in any terrain, make a shelter and stay put. Don't panic. People are searching for you, and you're certain to be found. Let the searchers know where you are. A signal repeated 3 times is a distress call. It's good to know basic first aid to help yourself or a friend in an emergency. Learn to recognize poisonous animals and what to do when bitten by any of them. Put together a survival kit and take it with you on your trips to the wilderness. Never hike alone in unfamiliar terrain. Your knowledge of reading a map and using a compass can come in handy. A trip into nature should be fun. Treat the wilderness with respect, and you'll always be safe in nature.
Holy cow. I had not seen that one. Pretty intense. Out of doors are not friendly to little kids when you don't have Guardiana swooping in to help you. I'm guessing she was working her architecture gig and missed the opportunity to save these young people. But yeah, that was pretty intense. We have other safety in the outdoors, and none of them deal with dehydration and that severity of getting lost and all that stuff. So, wow. Anyways, thanks everybody for tuning in today. We will come back again tomorrow, 1 o'clock, and we'll show you some more films. And I hope you guys liked the kind of showing some more current stuff. Well, current stuff. More things that have not been digitized, like using the telecine. Because, yeah, I felt like we had a pretty good rhythm there. So, again, if you would like to support what we do, you can hit like and subscribe and ring the bell. Comment and share, of course, always. And then you can buy us coffee at buymeacoffee.com/avgeeks. Everybody have a good rest of your day. As always, we look inside the film can to tell us what to do, and it tells us to please rewind and love each other. And yes, do that. We'll see you tomorrow. Take care.